Hello and welcome to Daily Rob for Friday, the 1st of June 2016. And what's been going on my mind today are three things: food, sleep, and morning. So let me go through these things in maybe the reverse of it. Let's start with the morning. As you can't hear, but I will tell you. Right now, well, it's still been the morning hours. It's about 9 o'clock, which is not really so much the morning anymore. Yet, it really touches upon what I want to share. And it's these hours, in the early morning, again, what I realized, they are so important and they are so great for just yourself, just for your individual things, the things you want to develop for yourself, the things you want to get done for yourself. Because as soon as as soon as you're leaving your enclave, your sleeping room, your own space, your own personal space, as soon as you're leaving it, you're interfered, and you get in touch with other people. You get in touch with your day-to-day things that you just have to do, like breakfast, cooking, all these things that sort of suddenly start to just preoccupy your mind. And so if you have things that you want to just get done, or that you feel just want to focus on, and do them in the morning, right after you just get up. Maybe a morning exercise, maybe something that was on your mental agenda that you really wanted to get done before anything else enters your life. Because then, if you don't do it, at least that's my experience, it's so difficult to find another moment in the day to do these things. It may just be listening to a podcast. There's hardly then any moment in that you can truly grant for yourself, and to not maybe also feel, now I'm not spending time with other people. Now I'm antisocial. I'm excluding myself because I want to focus on my things. Well, then do them in the morning, and spend your time in the valuable morning hours. But that is connected to the second point: sleep. I was just listening in my morning hours to a podcast in which the Huffington Post founder Ariana something got interviewed, and she wrote a book about the sleep revolution. And I've listened to two podcasts now in which she presented her core findings of that book, and it's just stunning how important sleep is, and how misplaced sleep in our society is. That it's not being seen as something sort of maybe super important or super cool to sleep, or to spend enough time on sleep, but rather the opposite. It's cool if you just get a lot of things done, hardly have any sleep, but be super productive and do many things besides sleep. So as she says, just shortly, just sleep enough, and your life will be fine. Your life will be better. So if you want to have enough time in the morning hours, well, of course you need to make sure that you go to bed in time, which is, again, seen as something maybe sometimes odd. What? You're going to bed at 10 o'clock? Oh, wow. How come? Are you tired? Yes, well, I just want to have enough sleep and want to get up in the morning to do things. Finally, point 3, food. A really cool one for me, a really new one for me. The sleep revolution was nothing new for me. The morning hours sort of idea, I already had that on my mind. It's just sometimes difficult to, and important to remind yourself about it. But the food and nutrition, there was something new here that I learned already at my latest sort of project that I've been visiting now, and it concerns probiotics and microorganisms, and how important they are for our diet. And interestingly, I didn't really think about that way, but I'm half Polish, and so now I'm spending a lot of time in Poland, and I just noticed how much that Polish cuisine uses microorganisms. There's a lot of processes in the cuisine in which, for example, gherkins are processed, with sort of put into sort of a yeast. I think it's a yeast sort of based, just liquid to preserve it. The same goes for a lot of bread making. They use a lot of yeast. Then there is cabbage that they sort of sour cabbage that they kind of also preserve that way. So overall, a lot of microorganisms are used, whether intentionally or not, I don't know. But certainly they're part of the Polish cuisine, and they're super healthy. That's what my current host told me a bit about the importance of microorganisms for our flora, and their functioning, and how important they are for all our organs to work properly. So for example, a simple tip she gave me is in the morning hours, just take a little bit of apple cider, or apple acid, apple vinegar, mix it with a bit of water, and I think it was warm water, and just have that as the first drink in your early morning every day. Interesting. Actually, I don't think that apple vinegar has any microorganisms, but that's a simple tip she shared with me anyway. The one I need to ask her again, because that was a bit more complicated. Well, another one you can actually do, and that's what we did yesterday. You buy, like fresh yeast, the one, like not the dry yeast, not the sort of dry yeast powder, but really fresh yeast that you would, for example, use for bread making. And you dissolve that into really hot water to kill all of the yeast organisms. You don't want them to live on in your stomach, but you rather just want to get the enzymes and also the proteins from the yeast. So that's another one. You might want to try it out. So looking at the time, 7 minutes. It's been a long one today. That's actually all I had on my mind. Sort of now I can sort of push the reset button and sort of flush it into an archive. Hopefully for later retrieval, to not forget. I hope you found it interesting, and if so, then I guess I see you tomorrow. Bye bye.